You're listening to the KC Sportscast.
It is gone! Three-run home run by George Brett into the third tier of Yankee Stadium.
Pass ball into left field. The Kansas City Royals are walking off into the air.
Thomas shoots. Three. The game tied.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Unbelievable base running by Eric Hosmer has tied it.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
Welcome to the Kansas City Sportscast. I'm one of your hosts, Travis Wright.
I'm Steve Moser.
Yes, and we are back after a short hiatus of about 3 years.
What happened since then, dude? What happened to the world?
I don't know. Has anything happened of note since the last time we did a podcast? See, we stopped doing a podcast. The world goes to shit, Steve.
Mhm.
Corona, all the lockdowns, all the craziness, the vaccines, the deaths, the madness. Oh, back in
That was an odd 3-year period, I have to say.
It was. Back in 2019 of autumn, we decided to do the KC Sportscast and have fun because why? The Jayhawks are good. The Royals are good. Chiefs are amazing. Let's do a podcast. Turns out the Chiefs won a Super Bowl at the end of that season.
Yep. And then and KU was like one of the best 5 teams all year. And then they canceled the tournament. That was it was funny. We had tickets to the tournament, the second round, and then they came out with a report like, "Hey, this virus thing is really picking up steam, and it's pretty serious. It's way more than the regular flu. They're thinking about not letting fans come and watch the games." And I was like, "What? Not let fans watch the games? That's crazy!" And then the next day,
right,
they canceled the tournament altogether. And I remember I felt like a little kid, like, oh, "Okay, well, that's okay. Let's go back to the thing where you just don't have fans. That's okay."
And then they went to do nothing. Like we were amazing that year. I think they could have potentially won it all that year. I said this: how about you just go and get a gymnasium in freaking Indiana and go to a tournament in some old school badass historical venue and have no fans or just have the coaches or whatever. They did that in baseball, right? They did
well,
that
actually they did it the next year. They did it the next year with all the games for like paper plates or like instead of fans, they're like pictures of paper plates.
Dude, they went all out. They made whole sections of paper plate fans. Like it was crazy.
Like the Kyle Gass experience. It was that movie with Tenacious D where he tries out for all those angry paper plates. Boo.
Very nice. So every time that we've done a podcast during a season, the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl. Following year, we didn't do it. And guess what? The Chiefs didn't win a Super Bowl.
I didn't even think it was going to losing. I was just like, oh, yeah, they're going to win another Super Bowl. Hell, they'll probably catch New England.
Yeah,
probably. I figure 12 years from now. So
yeah. There he goes. My thought was, oh man, it's a shame that D Ford had to, have that offsides because this could have been our 3rd Super Bowl in a row. We could have totally won those guys. Oh, yeah, we totally got this in the bag, baby. And we got destroyed. Why? Eric Fisher on our line, our left tackle, he got hurt. Number 1 draft pick, right? In 2012, we sucked so bad. And then we got him. And then guess what? Freaking Andrew Wylie, he goes over to left tackle, gets blown out of the water. Patrick Mahomes runs for his life, 500 plus yards behind the line of scrimmage.
One of the really good offensive linemen didn't play that year because he wanted to be a doctor because of the coronavirus, right? Remember?
Right, yeah. DuVernay
Tardif. I mean, he was good.
Yeah. Well, pretty good. And then we went from pretty good to not good at all, and that line was destroyed. And I want to talk about this because, you and I have been following the Chiefs for a long time. How long have you been following the Chiefs, by the way?
I remember in high school they went to the wild card one year. I remember getting into it.
86.
Yeah, that was a fun year. I remember that Joe Delaney guy a little bit, not very well,
Okay.
but
80s, about 80s,
yeah, in the
about the
80s.
same as me, 80s.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've always watched the Super Bowl whenever I was younger, and then I remember really liking the Chicago Bears. It's that one year because they were just awesome, right? I remember watching the Super Bowl, the 49ers winning it that year before, and then the Chicago Bears won it, and that was awesome. Luckily, the Chiefs were pretty decent the next year, enough to make it to the playoffs, or I might have stayed a Bears fan.
Mm.
There was a possibility. I had a Chicago Bears T-shirt.
That was like
I had a pennant.
Wasn't that stretch there in like high school, or maybe junior high for you, where it was like the NFC would kill the AFC team, like real, like 50-10, or it was just, remember?
Insane. Yeah, Bears won 46-10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane.
Did San Francisco beat Denver so bad?
Huge blowouts. Yeah. And you know what? And back in 2012, 10 seasons ago, the Chiefs were getting blown out. They had the worst record. They won 2 games, 2-14. They got the #1 draft pick. And one of those things during that year, I remember after like the second or third game, I just mouthed it off to them on Twitter. I was like, not much of a Chiefs fan anymore. The yearly $30 million under the salary cap is horrible. Greedy owners can FO. CC the NFL at NFL. And 3 minutes later, I get a tweet from the Chiefs official account that said, "It's your choice to be a fan. CC, get a clue." And I was like, oh. I remember the next day, dude. I'm at Chipotle. I'm at Chipotle. I'm eating the burrito bowl, and I'm like, oh, what? Still, are you what? They sent me a damn CC, get a clue. Oh my God. So I screenshotted that thing and I tweeted it out. Oh my God. The Chiefs they don't care about their fans. They told me to get a clue. We're just mad. We want to be blah, blah, blah. And then, oh my, it created a whole hullabaloo there, Mr. Steve Moser. And newscasters coming at me, talking, asking questions about it. And here's what we said. All we really wanted was a good team. We wanted a good coach. Scott Pioli was running this thing like he was the mafia. He kicked all the old players out, that nobody could come in. It was Fort Knox. What was that deal? You were
I told you that
working
story.
out there. Yeah.
I couldn't find a financial analyst job. Well, I had an interview with like a headhunting agency, and they thought they'd find one, but they're like, well, but it's kind of like you never know when it's going to happen. So like, well, I need money now. And this friend of mine is a little league coach, and this guy who's also a coach ran the groundskeeping for the Royals. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, you probably don't want to do this very badly, but like, at least you'll have some money coming. He's like, I think they actually get paid like okay,
Mm-hmm.
And so I interviewed, and like I got on to like Mo.
You were Steve Mo.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun,
That was good.
As far as shitty jobs go, it's kind of cool.
That's a really good shitty job, dude. You're in the stadium every single day for the most part, making the stadium.
Yeah, but like one time we were on this hill, and this guy comes running. And I remember thinking, like, is he coming for us? No, surely not. We're just mowing the grass. Who cares?
Right, right.
And he's like, yeah, you can't be here. It was like, oh, yeah, we got to mow the whole complex, And he's like, yeah, you could see in there. I mean, he's like, yeah, I could barely see in there. I mean, what, you think I'm actually going to, like, stop my mower and, like, start jotting stuff down, Like,
right.
Plus, who's trying to, like, spy off a 4-12 team?
2-14. 2-14. Oh yeah. So I was on Chiefs Planet, and then this was after the tweet fiasco, and Eric Grinnell was like, dude, I'm sick of this. We need to raise money and fly banners over Arrowhead. And then Marty McDonald came on and set up social media. I helped them build the social media sites out, and then Phil Kloster came in and was doing stuff, and then Clay Windler. He was doing all kinds of cool videos and creating content media. We blew those social media accounts up to like 80,000 people over the course of like a month. And I think it freaked the Chiefs out a little bit because I sent him an email, and I noticed that email got passed around. I had a little pixel in the email, got passed around 46 times, read on 17 different devices. So I know they saw it. They never responded. But I said, we're going to keep putting the pressure on you guys. This is ridiculous. And so we were flying these things over Arrowhead, said, save our Chiefs, bench Castle, fire Pioli, we deserve better, draft a first-round quarterback. We were flying them over every single game except the one game. I think it was actually against the Bengals. I'm not for sure. who I think it was against the Bengals, but we were doing a food drive for harvesters, and it was going to be canned pioli, and you could bring
That's awesome.
bring food, and we donated to. But that was the week that Javon Belcher did that double suicide thing. It was so crazy. What a crazy year that was, huh? 10 years ago.
Oh, well, God, do you think that what's funny about that is like, think about how good Patrick Mahomes is compared to Brody Croyle.
Oh my God, Brody Croyle. Matt Castle and Brody Croyle. And we just wanted a first-round draft. They hadn't drafted a quarterback since 1983 with Todd Blackledge back in the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a long ass time ago.
Other teams. Most other teams had like drafted a quarterback 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we're always getting these 49er scrubs, right? Which I love Joe Montana. Don't get me wrong. I love Joe Montana. Did not like Steve Boner. Not a fan of him. And then we got Gerback after. And then Alex Smith. I mean, I like Alex Smith. Don't get me wrong. But that's 4 castaways from the 49ers. We're like the Kansas City 49er quarterback scrub
I just don't think it worked. The cool thing is, because it worked once for Denver, now Denver's trying to do that bring the 35-year-old from another team thing, and I don't think it's going to work.
It worked with Manning. You can't lie about that, right? And we thought Russell Wilson was going to be good, but we'll see. They got Sean Payton over there, so that could be a whole interesting thing. But here we are 10 years later. So the Chiefs go out. Clark Hunt goes out, and he hires Andy Reid. He hires Andy Reid because the Philadelphia Eagles thought, all these 14 years and 9 playoff, berths and 5 NFC championships, that's just not good enough for us. You haven't won us a Super Bowl. And so Clark Hunt and the Clarks, as Frank Clark will call them, the Clarks, they went out and saved the day, dude, got Andy Reid. And this franchise, since they made that hire, has did a complete 180. And God bless them.
He kind of did that without, weren't they in between general managers? Did he do that by himself?
Clark did. Oh, yeah, dude. They fired Scott Pioli. And then they brought over Mark Donovan and some of this. Dude, if you look at our team right now, Kansas City Chiefs team, on that sideline, in that front office, that is just full of former Eagles. Truly. Mm-hmm. So here we are, Steve.
What's funny is that that 4-year span of shittiness, 2009 through 2012, the Pioli and Haley, that's when the 49ers coach started as an assistant in the NFL. We were very like, well, if he was asking his friends, like, hey, how do you think I could go from being a college coach to an NFL coach? They'd be like, well, you probably want to get on the shittiest franchise possible. Like that, they need people. So
there's a really good interview out there with Nick Sirianni. How he had met Todd Haley, met him at a gym, and he was a wide receiver guy. He was a wide receiver, was wanting to get better at being a wide receiver, and then he decided to become a wide receiver coach. And Todd Haley had already built a relationship with him because he ran into him at the gym, hired him. He was on the Kansas City Chiefs team in 2012 when they were so horrible. Nick Sirianni was on there from
he was their wide receivers coach.
Yeah. And Andy Reid did not keep him on, obviously, but Nick Sirianni has gone on to do other things. And here we are now. So there's a lot of really interesting things that's going on here in this Super Bowl, Steve. I mean, this is, some people are calling it the Andy Reid Bowl. Some people are calling it the Kelsey Bowl. After this podcast, I'm probably going to go smoke a bowl.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Chipotle Bowl earlier.
If it's like for kind of like, what do you would call that? Like somebody's legacy, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like if Patrick Mahomes wants to win 3 or 4 Super Bowls, it's, it behoove you to win a second one now.
Yeah,
when you have
every time you're in one, probably ought to try to win it. But I mean, Tom Brady's been to 10. He's won 7. He's only lost 3, right? It'd be really hard to kind of get, and I don't know who's going to get. I
don't think that's very realistic goal.
Yeah.
I don't think that is.
Dude, that's like a Cy Young record, dude. It's like since Cy Young had like 511 wins or something stupid, like you're never going to get anywhere near that. That's one of those untouchable records. Tom Brady's on a whole other level, but I think when it comes to this generation of quarterbacks, Mahomes is something special. And who's special? The Chiefs are special, and the Eagles, man. These guys are special teams. Both a 1 seed, right? Yep. So it seems to me that bye week really helped these teams out, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. The expanding to 7 teams where there's only one bye. It seemed more symmetrical when it was 2 byes. But
Yeah.
like this year, it was like, who should it be? The bye was between KC and Buffalo, but they didn't finish the game to figure out who it should have been. So
Right. That was such a crazy scenario that was there. So glad Hamlin's doing better, and it was good that the Bengals ended up beating the Bills, so that didn't even matter. We didn't have to do the
yeah, that was kind of weird. I thought like when they thought of the neutral site idea, I was like, oh yeah, that's a genius idea. That's great. But then they didn't apply it to the semifinals. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like if Cincinnati would have won that game that didn't get played, they would have leapfrogged them.
Right. Maybe so. Yeah, you got a good point there, Mr. Steve Moser. Here's
what's
interesting.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say what I found interesting was Cincinnati was missing 3 offensive linemen. And so I thought, oh, that could come into play. But it was snowy in Buffalo that day, so it's kind of slippery. So it really didn't come into play.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I felt like it did come into play because the Chiefs sacked him 5 times.
Yeah. 1 versus 1 seeds right here. Both teams are 16-3 at this point. We got the number 1 offense of the Chiefs versus the number 1 defense of the Eagles. Kansas City, 413 yards per game. Philadelphia giving up 301 yards per game. And here's an interesting stat here, Steve. The Eagles have scored a total this season of 546 points. The Chiefs, 546 points. This game is going to be insane.
So the key is trying to get to 30, probably, yeah.
30 points, you think?
What'd you say?
I would say the key is to have more points than the other team.
Yes.
However many that is.
Oh, and limit the turnovers.
It could be 7-6. I don't care what it is. But there's
don't have turnovers.
Don't have turnovers. Yeah. There are some keys to the game here, we think, right? Got to control the football. Got to control the football. You got to be like when you got to exert your will against this other team, right? If you're Kansas City, you got to make sure you're not getting field goals, you're getting touchdowns. That's important, right? And you mentioned this too. This is one of the key points to me is protecting that quarterback. Patrick Mahomes has to have a pocket. His ankle's not 100%.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's probably only like 75 or 80%.
Yeah. That Philadelphia front 7, man, what do you think about them?
Oh, God, that scared me when I was looking at the stat. I didn't pay attention to stats that closely. When I started looking, like, oh, my God, they have 4 guys with 11 sacks or more. And that was like,
whoa, dude,
people I've never heard of. And then I have heard of these guys, Fletcher Cox and Ndamukong Suh.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Graham's out there. He's a famous guy.
Yeah.
And here's maybe the biggest, baddest mofo of them all, Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick is the dude who hit Brock Purdy, right? And I think he's the dude who hit the next backup quarterback too. I'm not for sure. I don't recall that 100%. So it wasn't that just Brock Purdy got out there and got injured. No. He got mauled. He got destroyed. And guess what? Hassan Reddick is lining up right over our boy Andrew Wylie. That to me is a big key. That to me is a big key. If we can stop, if Wylie can pull a magic rabbit out of his hat and stop Hassan Reddick somehow, we have a chance to win. If the Andrew Wylie of Super Bowl 55 shows up, we're gonna get smoked. I think that's the pivotal thing, and I've not heard a lot of people talking about this. Andrew Wylie sucks. At best, I don't even know what his Madden score rating is. It's got to be in the 60s. He's not great. He's by far he's not great. He's better on the right side as a right guard or right tackle, whatever he is. Right guard, I think, over being on the left tackle. But my God, that scares me, dude. That front 7, as you mentioned, too many sacks, bro. Philadelphia in the regular season, 70 sacks. In the playoffs, 8 sacks. Kansas City, 55 sacks. And in the playoffs, 7 sacks. So
that's about 4 sacks a game. So we don't we don't want to get sacked 4 times, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Want to protect that quarterback, baby. And we got to eliminate those turnovers too. We can't be turning over the ball. And when our defense is stealing the ball from them, interceptions like what happened versus the Bengals, that works out in our favor.
Thing I just thought of. The Chiefs got a lot of sacks against the Bengals, but it was the crowd really helped I wonder if that's the Eagles. This is like the Super Bowl is more neutral, kind of corporate feeling. It's not really. I don't know. It's hard to.
Well, I think what it is, it's like there's probably 30% of one team, 30% of another team, and like 40% of corporate douche nozzles. Right? Because I mean, those tickets are so stupid. I'm actually going to go out there and get one ticket. As I did not go to any other of the Super Bowls. I've been to a World Series. I saw the Royals win a World Series game. I went to the Final Four, saw the Jayhawks with my kids win the tournament this past year. I've never been to a Super Bowl. I am going to go. I'm going to wait to the last minute and see if I can get a ticket cheaper, because right now I noticed the cheapest ticket's like $4,700 plus $1,500 in convenience fees, Steve.
I'm much lower income wise, but I just bought KU Oklahoma basketball tickets, and I thought I found a great deal. And then when the total amount came, I was like, that's not 71 times 2.
Right.
I thought you had
it's
71
convenience fees. Convenience. And then not only do they have the convenience fees have convenience fees, because you want to make the convenience fees feel more convenient and comfortable. And then those comfortable convenient fees has a service fee. And then on top of it, they have the audacity to charge you another $2.50. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. That's crazy, man. So I'm going to go check and see if I can get a last minute ticket and go out to that game. That should be fun.
And also the bummer, I think now, I mean, it's kind of nice technology wise. It's more handy, but in the back in the day, you had these cool stubs. Like, so when you went to an important game, you could look at it. Like, yeah, this is cool. Like now it's just like, I went to that Royals playoff game. It's just like on my phone,
Yeah. Well, dude, the NFL has been doing live NFTs. So I believe it's live-nfts.com, nfl.live-nfts.com. And so they have NFTs. So I got NFTs last year leading up, and I bought a couple NFTs this year from our playoff games. And then if I'm at the Super Bowl, I'll probably get access to the Super Bowl NFT as well. So there are NFTs. That was the biggest problem that I could see, was that the best Chiefs or Royals game that I've ever been to was that 2014 wild card game, and I got it on a wadded up piece of paper, and that's like not a cool ticket stub at all, Mr. Steve Moser.
And you stuck it out? You didn't leave?
No, I left. I was pissed. As soon as he brought in Giordano Ventura and it gave up that huge home run, I was walking out because I had standing room only tickets, so I didn't really have good seats, and I'd like stand looking over people, and then that happened at 72. I remember walking out of the stadium. And I said to the security guard there, I was like, if you could do me a favor and give this to Ned Yost, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. And I want to say that too. I want to say that to the Kansas City injuries. Like, we've had some serious injuries. Like, our wide receiver core got beat the fuck down this past week, dude.
Oh yeah. I think that was kind of more fluky than anything, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. I know the Eagles have a way of making fluky injuries happen. So it's like, you better be good. Hardman, he's completely out. His groin, I don't know if Hardman's ever going to be the same again, dude. If you're super fast like that and you hurt your nutsack and you pull your groin out of, dude, like, how you going to run like blazing speed like you did before? I think he might be less of a player moving forward, unfortunately.
I saw he's doubtful. It's everybody else.
He's done. He's doubtful. He's out? Okay. Well, Andy Reid said, yeah, he's probably not going to play. He's out. L'Jarius Sneed, he had that concussion, right? He hit that dude with his head right on his. I was like, dude, that's concussion protocol.
That was not good.
That wasn't good.
I really like that guy. I feel like the game wouldn't have been as close if he would have got hurt.
But you know what? That Brian Cook dude, he's the one who helped create that interception. He was running down. He hit the ball up in the air over to his dude. Like, that to me was like a volleyball of badassery right there. Dude.
That was a cool
interception. You never see that. Like, you see it very rarely when you see a defensive back tapping it to his other dude. That was pure money right there. I freaking love that.
And listening to the Bengals fans on social media, they said that the refs won the game for the Chiefs, and that's when I was thinking, like, the refs had 5 sacks and 2 picks, even though they're in their 50s and 60s, right?
Right.
So
if you're looking at a lot of that game, there was like interceptions and fumbles and things that got called back that went against the Chiefs. So it's like you really have selective viewing. I don't think those refs were very good, but I mean, it wasn't all that one-sided. And plus, dude, if somebody's a quarterback and running outside and his name's Patrick Mahomes and he's one of those top-tier quarterbacks, you don't push them hard when they're already out of bounds. That's a clear penalty.
It seemed like if he would have kind of let up and then that was my momentum. It would have been like, yeah, that was his momentum, no big deal. But he literally did push him it was definitely a penalty.
And nobody really talked about his knee buckled too. Osai when he got out of bounds after he pushed Mahomes down, and then his knee went. It was like instant karma. Got him big time right there. That was crazy.
And speaking of karma, the Cincinnati mayor's middle name is Karma. Did you see that?
Well, that brings us to the next thing right there. I mean, there's some other injuries. Willie Gay, Willie Gay, and then Juju Smith-Schuster. Hopefully they'll all, I'm pretty sure 2 weeks they should all play. Hardman's probably the only one that's going to be out. But mentioning that about, dude, Kelsey gets up there, holds the trophy. He's like, I got something to say, Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni. I was like, oh my God. And dude, have you heard the remix of that?
No, I'd like to.
You want to hear the remix? Oh, dude, I'm actually going to play. I'm going to play it here real quick.
I see they both played their college ball there. Did they grow up there also?
Oh, dude, yeah. So they have a podcast. I don't know if you know this. It's called New Heights, and it's Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey. This is the Kelsey Bowl. I've been watching this thing all season, and I remember saying to some friends, I was like, dude, this would be crazy if it's like Kelsey versus Kelsey in the Super Bowl like that, because the Eagles were undefeated for a while, right?
I was going to say the Chiefs and Eagles have been like the two main teams all year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Know your role, know your role, know your role, and shut your mouth. Know your role,
know your
role, know your role, and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth.
You jabroni,
you jabroni, you jabroni. You jabroni, shut your mouth. You jabroni, you jabroni, you jabroni, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. You jabroni, you jabroni, you jabroni, shut your mouth. You jabroni, you jabroni. Now fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelsey from Patrick Mahomes! You jabroni!
Know your role and shut your mouth. Dude, I want to make that my ringtone, baby.
That's a pretty good one.
that right there, just so you know, that right there was God Remix Suede. Got to give the props out to that dude right there for doing that. If you have not seen Kelsey versus Kelsey, the New Heights podcast, it is, Steve Moser, the #1 rated sports podcast in all the world. Do you know that?
Yeah, I heard one episode where they were talking about Denny's and Cracker Barrel and talking about what's a diner and what's a restaurant.
They're hilarious, dude. You'll love it. You'll love it. If you've not seen much of it, you gotta love it. What's cool is they've interviewed 2 quarterbacks over the course of these 20 some odd episodes they've done. I think 25 episodes. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That Patrick Mahomes interview is like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours long. One of the best interviews because you've never seen this dude so laid back because he's sitting right beside his homie, Travis Kelsey.
They're #2 now behind only Gronk and Gronkowski and Tom Brady as far as the touchdowns in the postseason.
Yeah, it's good. And then what? Travis Kelsey's the #2 receiver of all time now when it comes to playoffs, only behind Jerry Rice. Not tight ends, period. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I feel like he's more of a wide receiver than a tight end. I mean, they only call him a tight end just because of his huge size.
He blocks like crazy, dude. He's an amazing blocker.
Well, you're supposed to block when you're a wide receiver, right?
Yeah, well, that's okay. He's a tight end, though, but it's good. One of the best, maybe one of the best, maybe the GOAT. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if he's here, he is playing with Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to want to retire. He's going to want to keep this. He's going to keep that train going for at least another 3, 4, 5 years until maybe he gets really hurt badly. Then he's going to rethink it. But That's awesome.
And Tony Gonzalez, gosh, that's probably the Chiefs' best position, huh? Would you say?
Over time, historically.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Lenny Dawson, big shout out to Big Len Dawson right there. This is the season. This is for you, brother, man. God bless you. He passed away this year, and one of the best quarterbacks of all time. We had Joe Montana as a quarterback for a while, and now we got Patrick Mahomes, baby.
And speaking of this, I want to tell you very briefly, and all the listeners, I don't know if there's only like 10 or 15 people listening, but if you get the chance, you want to watch this Alex Smith 30 for 30. It's really good, impressive. How he his leg was, man, that was jacked up.
It was so mangled. And you know what? Patrick Mahomes, he personally will say thank you to Alex Smith because he's the one that taught him how to be a professional quarterback. So thanks to Alex Smith out there as well. Another cast off from the 49ers. But so the Chiefs have been to 4 Super Bowls so far. They are now 2-2 in the Super Bowls, right? This is their 5th Super Bowl. The Eagles, this will be their 4th Super Bowl. They are 1-2. So Super Bowl 1, Chiefs lost to Green Bay. Super Bowl 4, Chiefs won against Minnesota, and then the Eagles had a couple Super Bowls in there. Yeah,
I don't remember those first 2. I do. That's one of the first Super Bowls I remember was the Oakland beating the Eagles.
Super Bowl 15.
15, yep. And then the first New England. That was before New England was like annoying. And
I actually used to kind of like New England, man. When I have a Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Like that first Super Bowl where they beat the Rams, if you knew how it was going to transpire, I think I would have cheered for the Rams, you know.
Right. Well, they're the greatest show on turf back in the day. Look at this. If you look at it, the Eagles went to 3 Super Bowls in between the times when the Chiefs did. So they also went 39. As you said, they lost to the Eagles, or they lost to New England, and then they beat New England actually in Super Bowl 52. So that was some retribution.
Oh, that was one of the coolest Super Bowls, non-Chiefs.
Yeah. And it was great. Like, Jason Kelsey afterwards in their parade, he was dressed up in that green outfit and one of the funniest, coolest interviews that you've ever seen post-win, dude. He was talking about this like, we're going to say we're the underdog. You know what we are? We're the hungry dog, and the hungry dogs run fast. I love that. You got to watch his celebration speech, dude. It's beautiful. And then the Chiefs beat San Francisco, which almost didn't happen. They were down 20-10, and that whole wasp throw. And
oh gosh, we really only won the 4th quarter, bro. That was kind of scary.
And then we blew them out 31-20. We smoked them in that 4th quarter. That was amazing. And then speaking of getting smoked, Tampa Brady Buccaneers defeated the Chiefs, mostly due to Andrew Wylie, in my opinion, and Eric Fisher being hurt, and that whole line reshuffling. And let's hope that Andrew Wylie shows up this next Sunday, Mr. Steve Moser.
That probably is a big matchup, like you say. But since we are talking about the entire sports landscape of Kansas City, I also mention it's interesting that the Chiefs were able to avenge the Royals' loss to the Giants in the World Series.
Yep.
So now I'm hoping the Chiefs can also avenge the Royals losing the World Series to the Phillies when I was a little kid. Because I would get pissed. Pete Rose would always spike the ball like, oh, screw you, Pete Rose, you big jerk.
Oh, man. Dude, I couldn't even watch that when my mom, it was too late. And so my mom wouldn't let me watch it. And then I'd wake up in the morning and I would see a Post-it note. Oh, we won. And they didn't have the internet then where I could go and watch the highlights and stuff. I would just be like, oh, did they win? I'd go down. I think what it was Dad wanted to smoke weed and like, you need to go to bed. Like, no, I want to watch the World Series. You shut up, go to bed.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
It's the World Series. So you know what? When the World Series came around in 2014 and 2015, I let my kids stay up and watch it because I am.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have that much chance.
Yeah,
but when you have little kids, you want that 9 to 11 part of the evening, you know, like go to bed.
Go to bed. I want to smoke some marijuana.
But actually, MLB Network was showing old games, and I don't know, I hit Royals in the search, so it brought up some of those Royals games, and so I recorded one of them and watched. This is wild. Back then, that Royals-Phillies World Series, they used to play in the daytime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of them, not all of them. But
not all of them, but like something now, like they all start at like 7:30 or at night, right?
Yeah, a lot of times it's like 8:30 Eastern or something, depending. And I'm here in Puerto Rico, so it's like I'm an hour before Eastern. So I'm actually 2 hours ahead of you. It's 11 o'clock while it's 9 o'clock for you right now.
So, like tomorrow night's KU Texas game, that doesn't start till 10 o'clock for you.
Yeah, well, we'll start until 10 o'clock. Yeah, but I'm going to stay up and watch that one because got to
That's a
do
big
that.
game.
Yeah. Good luck to the Jayhawks. Good luck to the Kansas City Chiefs. We got a couple minutes left here as we're wrapping up, and I want to say thank you all for tuning in. This was fun. Mr. Wonderful Steve Moser over here. We did a bunch of them back in the day, and we thought, you know what, we really got to do another one because we haven't done one in a while, and every time we do a podcast, the Chiefs win a Super Bowl. So hopefully this is a good omen, and hopefully this puts a fire under Andrew Wylie's ass to not be horrible.
Yep. So we'll, maybe. I think we should. I'll learn my bald head. We'll start. We should do more of. Yeah, I'll learn how to do that video editing, and that would be fun. Because I enjoy doing these.
Yeah, these are good. We're hanging out. We like sports, and we need somebody to talk to. And every once in a while, some people will listen to it. And if not, it is what it is. I just want to say to you, Steve Moser, know your role and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. That song is great. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mr. Steve Moser, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for jumping on and doing this. And sure. Do we have a tagline? What did we say at the end? I don't even remember.
Oh, what did we say? Now, are we talking about the now I remember saying that I was like my favorite of the Hunt family was Norma Hunt. Do you remember that part?
My favorite of the Hunt family is Gracie Hunt now. She's really intelligent. She really knows her football and always looks nice.
That would be, I don't know if that would be bad for future generations of Chiefs fans. Clark's about our age, so no biggie, but like when he gets in his 70s, if he gives up the reins to like his 45-year-old.
I wonder who's going to get it. Is it going to be Gracie? Is it going to be the son? Hard to say. Gracie's the oldest. So, but then there's also the other side of the family too. There's Lamar Hunt Jr. and his, I don't know if he's got kids. He had a weird, crazy thing that went on, which is why Lamar Hunt Jr. was probably going to be the owner of the Chiefs, but he screwed himself out of that one. But man, I'm so curious. I'm flying to Phoenix, dude. I'm flying to Phoenix on Thursday. I'm got to go to New York tomorrow. Fun. Then I'm going to, tomorrow is today? No, tomorrow's Monday. Tuesday, flying to New York, doing some stuff in New York, going to New York Stock Exchange, dude.
That's exciting.
Live show.
Do you get to ring the bell? No.
Potentially the closing bell.
Oh, nice.
But I don't. It's not the opening bell. And if it would be the closing bell. But I don't know. We'll have to see. And then I'm flying to Phoenix. I got my hotel and I got my flights, and I do not have a ticket yet. That's because they're expensive as shit right now. But hopefully they'll be less. I'll have to wait till game time.
I'm going to Dallas to watch professional tennis.
Okay.
I've never been to a professional tennis tournament.
Have you ever played? Have you ever played pickleball yet?
I have. It's pretty fun.
I love pickleball. I just got a pickleball racket. Been playing that. We'll have to talk about that in one of our future episodes.
It's about halfway between tennis and ping pong.
Yeah, it's like racquetball, ping pong, tennis. Had a baby, a little bastard child called pickleball. Pretty much.
The only thing I don't like is that the sound's kind of annoying. Like when the tennis ball hits a tennis racket, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Pickleball, it's like.
Yeah. Oh, it's like wiffle ball. What I think it'd be fun would be like to put once you get near the end, then you put in a wiffle ball with the slats, and so you go, and the ball can go. But anyways, we are running out of time, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Steve Moser. I'm Travis Wright. Let's go, Chiefs!